Live from Atlanta, Georgia, this is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of How to Create a Trading Plan in Real Life. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Congratulations for those who made it all the way here to Class 4. If you're here live in computer land, thanks so much for being here. You guys absolutely rock. Type in a 1 if you can hear me okay. Just want to make sure that everything's coming along. Peter says hello, getting some 1s. That's fantastic news. If you're watching this in a recording, thank you so much for watching this in the recorded version. I really appreciate that. You guys totally rock. So tonight's class is going to be a very interesting format. I don't have any PowerPoint for tonight's class because it's going to be me and you. Okay, so for those who are here live, feel free to give me as much feedback as you want, as many questions as you have. Tonight's going to be about 40 minutes max, I feel like. And of course, if you have any additional questions from here, please email me, jerremy@reallifetrading.com. What I am most excited about is this class is an amazing segue into the intermediate series. So I highly suggest once you take this class, let it sink in and then hop over to the intermediate trading because it's absolutely phenomenal. It's mind-blowing. You're going to absolutely love it. And there's a lot of really good details and information in that class. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. Dina says, how are you today? Dina, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks so much for asking. David Coe, how's it going? Jeff White, what's up? Steve Robertson, hope you're doing fantastic. Steve, thanks for being here. What we're going to do today, here's what the format's going to look like. It's actually pretty fun, pretty interesting. I'm going to pull this up and then I'm going to pull this up. Here's what we got. It's going to be called Trading Plan. It's going to sound pretty simple, but I'm going to teach you all exactly how you can create a very simple, very easy trading plan. I want to show you what it looks like. I want to show you how to create it, how to construct it, what kind of rules are usually included in a trading plan. And from here, once you create it, the hardest part is doing what? The hardest part, ladies and gentlemen, is following it. Yeah. So the creation's actually real easy, real simple. The tough part is going to be following it. All right, so here's what we're going to do. The very first thing of a trading plan, normally you want to create some type of rules, something that makes you feel good, some success rules usually. So type in success, the very top, and create yourself a success rule. What this means is just something that you can reflect on, look at, and feel good about every time you read your plan. And it's something that you want to be successful. So I'm going to write in, I am insanely successful anytime I recognize an opportunity. Here's the scary part about this, ladies and gentlemen. You want to make this something easily obtainable. I know that sounds weird, but psychologically it's a good thing. You want to make this something really easy attainable. Sometimes people say success, I'm only successful when I have $45 million, I have 9 houses, 17 boats, and I've traded profitably for 20 years. Okay, that's cool and all, but it's really difficult to achieve, and if you're not there, then you won't feel successful. So how easy is it to recognize an opportunity? I'm not even saying that I have to do anything with the opportunity, I just have to recognize it. Right? So success, I'm insanely successful anytime I recognize an opportunity. It's great to have a success rule in there, something easily achievable. Something like, I am insanely successful anytime I'm awake or asleep. Right? I know that sounds kind of like simple, but it's like, wow, that sounds really easy. Yeah, really easy. Right? So I'm successful anytime I recognize an opportunity. That's my success rule. Here's then, I would say, failure. Have one in here in failure. And so make this something very difficult to achieve. Right? Make it something almost impossible. Write something like, not only do I not believe in failure, but there is never a chance that I could even imagine that I could achieve something. There's never a chance that I could even imagine this applies to me. Something like that. right? Something that makes it very difficult to be even closely considered a failure. Now, here's the third rule that I always want to suggest having: losing. Type in a 1 if you fully agree that losing and failure, two totally different things. Right? You will lose things in life. It will happen. You will lose games. You will lose on trades. You might lose a hand of poker. You're going to lose your keys. Okay? Losing is okay. You will lose things. It will happen. It's like if you lose the Super Bowl, are you just never going to play football again? Right? We're going to see the Atlanta Falcons playing again next year. So losing is not the same as failing. Not even close. In fact, and this is important, in fact, I embrace the fact that I will certainly lose on trades often. Mathematically, as long as I make more money than I lose, I will be profitable. Now, these rules that you're creating, you have to believe them. So I read my rules very, very often. It's something that you want to have almost memorized. In fact, you should memorize these things and really, really embrace it, because just like Dina said, losing is temporary. So when you are taking in a trade, you've got to be comfortable that you're going to lose. When you get into the trade, in fact, you should almost be certain that you might lose. A lot of people are afraid of losing money, and a lot of people are afraid of being wrong on a trade. So for people who are like that, write in, it is 100% guaranteed that I will lose money on some trades, and I will be wrong in my analysis, and I will have no idea of what's going on. Go ahead and just write that in, my friends. It's a fact. It's a guarantee. It will happen. You will lose money on some trades, so just accept it. Once you accept it, man, it kind of just, loses its stigma. Right? There's no reason to be afraid of something if it's a guaranteed fact. Dina, what did I tell you yesterday? I said there was going to be a guaranteed fact that the sun was going to rise tomorrow. Tomorrow being today. Is the sun here? Yep, sun's here, we're still here, the planet's here, okay? Everything is golden. So it's 100% guarantee that we're going to lose on some trades. In fact, I lost on one today. I lost on a trade today, and I won on a trade today. So what do you guys think? If I did everything correct, did I make money or did I lose money today? Well, I made money. I didn't make a lot, so you guys have been kind of keeping with me. So I think class 2, I think I did 1.6 R. Yesterday I did 3.5 R, and then I think it was 1.8 actually. 1.8, 3.5, and then today 0.4. Okay, 0.4 R, net gain. Nothing amazing, nothing phenomenal, just normal. I lost on one trade, I made money on one trade, and I lost less money than I made. So mathematically, I can be profitable. You guys get the point? Important to have that in your plan, okay? So from here, now we're going to come up with strategy. What I want you to do is I want you to type in whatever your strategy is. Now, I agree that there are thousands of strategies. Strategies are very often the least important aspect of your trading, ladies and gentlemen. Strategies are easy. I have hundreds of hours of content on YouTube about just strategies. If you are interested and you kind of like the way the real life trading approaches some of this information, education, since we're here, I'll just go over to YouTube really quick and give you some of the videos that I would suggest you watch anytime you're feeling down, or anytime you're excited, or anytime you just want to learn anything new. The theory of strategy cycles. It's a term that you'll never hear because I created it. But the theory of strategy cycles, I think, is a legit thing. So feel free to, at any point in time, type that into YouTube and pull that up and watch that video. It's a very, very good video. It's very quick. It's about 20 minutes long, I think, and that's a really, really good one. Another one is moving average strategy, you can type that in if you want. Moving average strategy, I'm like the number 5th video on YouTube for moving average strategy. You can watch this one. It's an insanely simple moving average strategy. It's very, very easy. I talk about it a lot in the intermediate section. Okay, but so far for beginners, you're going to be one of 2 people, maybe even one of 3, but let's do one of 2. There's going to be 2 types of traders here. First type of trader is going to be someone who goes, you know what, I'm cool with the beginning information. Jeremy, you taught me all I need to know. I'm going to say that ostentatiously, that in these 4 classes, you really do need, you have learned all you need to know about how to trade a profitable trade. Sounds crazy, I know, but you've learned risk and you learned where to buy. Once you learn those 2 things, you buy low, sell high, and you lose less money than you make. Okay? So if your strategy is buy low, sell high, buy low off of support, sell high at resistance, fantastic. Okay? If that's your strategy, wonderful. I like it a lot. I'm a big fan. So buy low, off of support, sell high at resistance. If that's your strategy, wonderful. If you want to improve it by saying buy low off of support after a confirmation of a candlestick pattern, which you would have to learn that at that point, candlestick pattern, sell high at resistance, that's also fine, right? So if you want to use a one white soldier or some other candlestick patterns I will teach you in later classes, then you can always include that in your strategy. Your strategy can be, again, a moving average strategy. Your strategy can be anything. But so far in these 4 classes, I'm going to show you just how to create a trading plan with the strategies that you've learned in the beginning classes, okay? So again, you can always tweak this a little bit, but at some point, here's the difficult thing, ladies and gentlemen. At some point, you're going to have to just pick one of these guys. You're going to have to pick it and go, you know what? I'm going to stick with this. And the reason I'm saying that is, let's say that you want to travel somewhere. Mr. Terry, where do you live in the world? Just give me the city or the state. Either one is fine. Just going to use you as an example. Dallas. All right, so Mr. Terry lives in Dallas. So let's say Terry wants to get from Dallas to New York City. Are there multiple ways Terry could get there? Yes or no? Yeah, sure. Right, there's a lot of different strategies. There's a lot of different approaches of how he could get there. He could walk. Walking might take a while, but he theoretically could. He could run, he could ride a bike, he could ride a donkey, he could, ride a motorcycle, a unicycle. He could take a boat somehow, go from Galveston around Florida up the coast and go to New York City. He could take a train, he could hitchhike, he could take a flight. You guys get the point? I mean, there are literally hundreds of ways that he could go from Dallas to New York City. So at some point, if he knows the direction, that's the important part. The important part is knowing the direction, right? Knowing what you want to do, okay? What kind of direction? What do you want to do? So you have your strategy. Your strategy is your direction. It is what you want to do. So once you have your direction, then just pick the strategy, and you're going to have to give it some time. Just like a relationship, at some level, you've got to give it some time. A week, a date, 2 weeks, a month, a year. At some level, you got to go, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. Let's just try it. So try this strategy. The buy low off of support with sell high at resistance. Just give that a try, okay? Now, here's going to be some rules. So this is, again, very simple. The rules are, you create some good pump-up verbiage up here, create your strategy, and then you create some rules. Rule number 1, I must write down how long I plan to be in every trade before I place it. Okay? I must write down how long I plan to be in every trade before I place it. Let's do an example really quickly. So let's hop over here to, I don't know, you guys pick a stock for me. Whoever wants to pick one. First one in the chat pane gets it. What do we got? Silver, all right, SLV. Let's go look at silver. So silver, I'm going to pull up the daily chart. Now I already have some lines on silver, I believe. So let me unhide those lines. And this is a really good example. Honestly, Dina, you couldn't give me a better one. But what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see my lines. Because I don't want you to think that I teach you something that I don't use myself. Okay, so here's silver. How many lines do I have on my screen? I technically have 3. I have a purple line, which is like a trend line type of thing, and I have the support resistance. Okay, so I have 2 lines on my screen. All right. So on silver, we can see this line, I haven't changed it in forever. We can see how many times we've bounced off of this 1484 price before in the past. Okay. So let's say that the stock comes down to here, and this is our plan. We plan to buy silver at this support. Does it look hard? Does it look scary? No. Will it go down there? That part we don't know. Right? We're not sure. But if you're someone who has a family and kid, families and work, and you're traveling, you have a life, and you're like, I can't look at the stock market all the time, that's totally fine. That's cool. Right? Maybe you're only somewhat interested in the market and you want to, you love your job, you're passionate about it. All you want to do is just kind of hop in, hop out every few months and make some money. So you could say, okay, if silver comes down to 1484, then I'll buy it. I'll place my stop. Let's say you place your stop down here, 1407, right? So you just give it some wiggle room. Stock comes down to that support. This is where you buy. Okay, this is how you exit the trade. So go ahead. I want every person here to just simply write in, how long do you think it would take from silver to go from the green line that I have, this limit buy at 1484, to 18 bucks? How long do you think it would take? So this is the part that I will be very frankly honest with each and every one of you here. Don't overcomplicate it. Just look at the past data. And I'm really talking to you guys here on the recordings as well, if you're watching this in the future. Just look at the previous data and just kind of give an idea of about how long it's going to take. So most of you, the consensus is 4 to 6 months. 4 to 6 months is how long it would take silver to go from here to here, the purple line. 4 to 6 months. I think that's correct. How do I know that? Well, it took about 3 months for this little bounce to happen. It took about 3 months for this little bounce to happen. It took about 4 months for that to happen. It took about 3.5 months for this move to happen. So yeah, it's probably going to take about 4 to 6 months, something like that. So what that does is it gives you an expectation. It gives you a potential of what's going on. So if you go to a trade and you go, all right, well, it's going to take 4 to 6 months. All right, fantastic. So that's rule number 1. I must write down how long I plan to be in every trade before I place it, so that when you're in the trade and it's only been a week, you're like, shoot, silver's not doing anything. What could you do? You could go back and go, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be in this 4 months. Right, do you guys get the idea? Any questions on that? I'll pause here for a second because this is a big rule. This is a powerful rule. It's a very, very strong rule. Because rule number 2 is going to be a fun one. All right. Rule number 2. I must have a date by which I can alter or look at the trade. I'll give you an example of what this means. Hint. It should be about 1/4 the amount of time in rule number 1. What in the world does this mean, Jeremy? What have you gotten us into now? I must have a date by which I can alter or look at the trade. Okay, so here's an example. Let's go do USO. Adam typed in USO. He wants to go look at USO. So we'll do the exact same example on USO. Very, very easy. So again, I got 2 lines here on USO. Let's draw one more. And actually, this is working out right now. So this might be really good timing. Okay, so we're going to draw this support resistance right here. Okay, and I'm basing that off of these guys right there. That support, right? You guys see where I'm drawing that line off of? Let's make that line blue. There's no reason for it to be red. Okay, here we go. And again, same thing as before. Almost exact same thing on silver. Let's look at buying it at 10 and then we're going to have our stop down here at 9. How long do you guys think it could take for it to bounce up to 1244? Any guesses? Any guesses? How long could it take to bounce up to 1244? I don't know. 6 months again? Geez, why are these so long, Jeremy? I know, man. I know, trust me. Investing takes time, well, that whole patience thing. So let's say it's 6 months. So you write in, when you're placing this trade on USO, I plan to be in this trade 6 months. All right, so that's rule number 1. So again, like I mentioned, 2 weeks go by and you're like, shoot, this trade's not doing anything. Yeah, it probably shouldn't. You said it's going to take 6 months. I mean, you wrote it down. Okay. When in doubt, just pick a random number if you want. Okay. When in doubt, just pick a number. 3 months, 2 months, 2 weeks, a year. Just pick a number. Give yourself the power to be your own wizard of time. Okay. So if you're looking at a trade and you're like, I have no idea how long it's going to take. Just pick something. 12 months, 5 months, a week. All right, whatever. Just pick some kind of time frame. Does that make sense? Okay. So usually for most swing trades, we're talking 3 to 6 months is a good amount of time for my beginners, for my set it and forget it, right? The intermediate program I was talking about, again, guys, that's totally free. I'm not setting you up for a sales pitch, though, even though I know how. I want everyone to know. I could literally go, all right, if you want more, here you go. I could do that. It's really easy. But I don't want to. I made a lot of money today trading. This one's on the house, okay? So all I'm getting at is if you want more active, if you want more aggressive, just keep going through real life trading. I'm gonna give you more advanced, quicker type of trading. This is more for I love my work, or I'm busy at work, or I'm busy with life. I got things to do. Okay, this is what the beginner class is for. Let's get in, let's get out, longer term stuff, okay? Fred says it helps you trade the chart, not the heart. Ooh. Where do I get that tattooed? Right about there, maybe? Huh? Yeah, I need to get that tattooed somewhere. Trade the chart, not the heart. That's good. All right, so I plan to be in this trade 6 months. What does this mean by rule number 2? I must have a date by which I can alter or look at the trade. So that could be something like, I won't even look at USO for 1 month. Meaning just set it and forget it. Don't even pull it up on your charts. Just leave it alone for a month, right? So that's about 1/6. It's close to 1/4. Meaning a month goes by, I'm talking all of 30 days. Don't even look at it. Don't even let it come into your mind. Okay? And again, you can create that, but as rule number 2, it needs to be about 1/4 of the time. Because again, the more you look at the trades, the more you're going to mess it up. I promise. Okay, just trust me on that. The more you're like, oh, I'm sure I could do something mentally that's going to change this. It's probably not going to be hard, right? Dina said it'll be hard to ignore it, though. Oh, yes, it will. Yes, it will. What's that D word that we were talking about earlier, Dina? Rhymes with miscipline. Right? It is hard, but that's the point. It's like you give yourself that rule. So you give yourself that rule of what it is that you want to do. So again, come up with a time frame. I won't even look at the trade for a month. Let it do its thing. So now you're going to have 2 rules. I must write down, I have a date by which to look at the trade. Number 2, I can only be in X amount of trades at any one given time. Now again, this number kind of up to you. I'll give you a hint though, make it less than 5 when you're first starting out. Again, this class is called for beginners. I don't want you to be in 15 trades at once. So I can only be in three trades at any one given time. That's a max amount. Because what would happen if you lost all of those trades at once? How much would you lose? Theoretically, you should only lose about 3R, right? If you lose every single one of those trades at once, you lost 3R. So that's how many trades you should be in at any one given time. Just come up with a number. But again, make it a small number. If you want it to be 1, awesome. If you want it to be 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, right? But this is the exact same, guys. This is the exact same blueprint, by the way, for all of my trading plans. I have a trading plan for day trading, swing trading, credit spreads, long term. It's all the exact same. I come up with these some cool things for me to say, the strategy, and some rules for the strategy. Okay. Number 4. So we've already got the strategy: buy low off support, sell at resistance. So some of you might be saying, when do I sell? At resistance. Okay. Some of you might be wondering, when can I move my stop? I cannot even alter or look at the trade by a certain date. Okay. So if you write that certain date down and it's a month, then you can't move your stop for a month. Let the trade do its thing. Forgive and forget. Just forget that it's even there, and you probably will do very, very well. So I can only be in 3 trades at any one given time. Number 4, as far as a rule goes, so Steve asked a good question. He goes, trailing stops. It's entirely up to you, Steve. Depends on how experienced you are at trading. The reason I suggest not using trailing stops usually is because some brokers, you can either do them as a percentage or a certain amount of points. And I've seen people, mess up trailing stops pretty badly, and it just gets them off the trade way, way, way too quick. Usually, let's say you did this trade, Steve, this exact trade on USO, like, I don't know, last month. No. Let's say you did this exact setup here. Okay. You bought here. After a month goes by, the stock is up here. Right? So at that point, you would have just taken the stop and you would have moved that stop up below those candlestick patterns or something like this. You probably would have put your stop right there manually, and you would have just gotten trailed out right about there. Or the exact same thing, right? The exact same thing, stock bounces off here. You give it a month, boom, 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 and you would have trailed out right here at the red line. So now again, look at this, guys. Now that I put the candlestick chart on, check out that candle right there. Look how beautiful it bounced right off a 10. Isn't that cool? Thanks, Ron. Appreciate you being here, man. Peter says you forget the trade during X time, but you set your stop loss prior. Absolutely. Yes, of course. Before you get into the trade, you need to have your stop loss. So let's make that rule number 4. My R equals. Okay, my R equals. So what is your R? Write your R down there. Okay? So whatever your R is, write that down. My R equals. So yes, you need to have your stop. We can put that in rule number 5 if you want. Make sure your stop is in place before you forget the trade is even there. Okay, I'm going to put this number 6, little apostrophes. Make sure to learn something called OCO orders. That way you can literally have the whole thing automated. Now, OCO orders are very easy, right? We were talking about this one yesterday. Almost every broker has an automated order for you for OCO if you're trading stock. So what an OCO order stands for is order cancels other. So what it looks like is you can set up a trade, and seriously, guys, in the vast majority of brokers, you can set this trade up where with stocks, okay, with stocks, that the stock comes down here, it triggers the trade, and once it triggers the trade, then it will trigger your stop and your target for you. It'll trigger your stop and your target. So meaning you'll get triggered into the trade without you even being by the computer. And then automatically you'll have a stop and a target placed for you. How cool is that? So you can literally set this trade up like, I don't know, a month ago. Now you're triggered into the trade, right? And now the broker will automatically create a stop for you and create a target for you. So again, let's say you're in Barbados and you're having a good time and USO does this, then you get out your target and you lock in money. You make money while you sleep. That's how you become wealthy. Or if the stock does this and starts tanking, it gets you out automatically. John Padgett says, what is a trailing stop? Is that where a broker moves it for you? Yes. The broker can automatically move the stop for you per candles or per percentage. Again, if you want to learn how to do that, it's totally fine. It's a little bit more of an advanced move. That's all. And so is an OCO order. It's a little bit of an advance, but I promise, guys, this takes 10 minutes to learn. It's like, remember how you learned your 1 through 10 in Spanish? Type in 1 if you guys remember that. Everyone here knows the 1 through 10, right? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. I don't even speak Spanish. I know 1 through 10. So it's like, just practice that for like 7 minutes and you'll learn how to do an OCO order. Okay, guys, just give us a practice. Almost every single broker will have this trade. If it doesn't, it is okay, because you can wait for the trade to get confirmed, you triggered in, and then you can go place your stop. Your stop is always, always important. All right? Now, I know this sounds crazy, but that's about it. That's about all the rules. You have your strategy. So your strategy should tell you when to enter the trade. Right? Your strategy should already, in the strategy, you should know when to enter. If you want more of a specific rule, that's fine, right? You can have more of a specific rule if you want to. So here's an example. Example of when to enter. I want to buy off of support when I see a hammer, and I enter with a move higher the next day. That's just an example. If you're like, what the heck's a hammer? Well, again, at that point, if you're getting more specific, you've got to learn your candlestick patterns. But a hammer would look a lot like this right here. This is a hammer. Hammer time. So you would have gotten triggered in above the highs. You would have gotten triggered in there. And again, your stop, totally up to you where you want to place it. You know. The next one we can put down here, the tighter the stop, the shorter amount of time you plan on being in the trade. Tighter, or I'll put in parentheses, closer to entry. Okay, again, I think you guys are getting the hang of this. So all we're doing right now is just creating some rules, and there's only 7 or 8. There's only 7 or 8, and some of these honestly are just examples. Because again, I can't create everyone's rule plan exactly, just at scale. So this is literally why I do coaching. This is the #1 reason why I do coaching. I will have students say, "Hey, can you contact me so we can build an exact trading plan that meets my personality, that meets my time schedule, that meets my account size, that meets my experience level, so on and so forth." I'm like, yeah, sure, right? So that's kind of the main thing, because again, at scale, at some point, you have to do this. And the scary statistic is, I have taught tens of thousands of people from all around the world how to trade the stock market, and probably only 5 to 10% actually have a written trading plan. So if you take time to do this, you're already hugely a step of the game. But this is what this is literally what my trading plan looks like. Success rule, failure rule, and I got the strategies and everything in bold. And I got them all saved on my external hard drive, just in case my computer ever crashes. And you try to read this as often as you can. Memorize this, right? Memorize it. But this is about it. Honestly, we're here. So there are some more rules that you could add, depending on how much you break your rules. Okay? So that's the thing. So I have one trader saying, I have to admit, I don't have it written down. That's why I'm here. And hey, that's totally fine. I get it. And I appreciate being here, appreciate admitting it. So that's the thing, it is important. It's just like anything else. It's like, if you had wedding vows, you probably wrote those down, or, if you have a kid, you probably teach your kid, if you have goals, you probably should write your goals down. So the pen is mightier than the sword, that type of thing. You guys get the point. Write this down, create a plan. And again, it's all about your experience level. So if you want to get really, really deep into the rabbit hole, you can create a little bit bigger of a plan. My plan is only 1 page. It's like a page and a half, but it's really not that long. Okay. The biggest one I have is day trading. The shortest one I have is long-term trading. My long-term trading is like 3 rules, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's like pretty simple, right? So again, your strategy is important. Figure that part out. If you, again, based on the beginners classes. This plan I'm building right now syncs in with that flawlessly. Thomas says, do you write down your rules, guidelines on how you exit the trade? I do, but again, this one right here, your exit, sell at resistance. That is your part of your strategy. So if you want to create a specific rule, as far as when you exit, you can do that. So if you want to have something like this, exit. If I have not hit 2R before 3 months is over, then I will X, whatever you want to do. So if I have not hit 2R before 3 months is over, how did I pick 2R? Again, guys, that's just double your risk, just like we talked about in class 2. What is 3 months? Again, 3 months is probably part of this a blend between number 1 and number 2. So if you can't even look at the trade by rule number 2, that's probably like what, 1 month, right? So if you looked at the trade 1 month in, it's like, okay, cool, it's doing whatever. And then rule number 1 is, I'm going to be in this trade 6 months. Then give a time for an exit. If you want an exact exit to help you from what you can do, then come up with a rule. I usually have how much money I have not made. So this is usually, if I write an exit rule for people, I say if I have not hit X amount of R before X amount of time. So it can be 3R, 4R, 5R, 1R. Pick a number, how much money do you want to make, and then pick a time. This time should realistically be longer than number 2. It's a very good question, Thomas. Does anyone have any questions about that? So again, that it can be up to your strategy. I have that for my day trading plan, Thomas, because as you all know, obviously day trading is very, very quick. So for me, if the trade doesn't do what I want it to do in the first 30 minutes, then I'm going to start moving my stop or exiting my trade. People hear me talk about that all the time. This can also be called a time exit or a time stop. You can also call it that. That's really what that is. So it's like, if I plan to be in the trade 6 months, but 4 months into the trade, it's literally doing nothing, then exit, but make sure you have that written down, right? Does that make sense, guys? So if you're going to exit early, make sure you have it written down to when you want to exit early. So how about we do this? How about we call this the exit early rule? That sound good? So if you're going to exit early, this is when you should, and it should be after your look at it time, and it probably should be before your number 1. Okay. Any questions on this so far? Again, we're almost done. We have only 2 other things to add, unless there's anything else that people that you're considering you want to add on this. Bound down down. Bound down down. All right. Here's the best part of all this then. Pleasure. Pull some of your profits out and reward yourself and others, please. People don't do this all the time. I don't care how much it is, okay? If you follow your plan for X amount of time, so that can be anything, right? So let's say you have a longer term focus. It can be 8 months, or it could be 6 months, or it could be 3 months. Mine is 3 months. Every 3 months, if I follow my plan for 3 months, here's the scary thing. I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you are thinking, well, Jeremy, what if I don't have profits? Here's the scary, scary part about that. If you follow your plan, you should have profits. There might be times where you don't, depending on your strategy, but you really should. If you aren't following, if you're following your plan, you should be making profits. I know that sounds like way, 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 way too easy and oversimplified, but it's kind of true. I go in losing streaks all the time, about every 2 or 3 months. Every 2 or 3 months, I hit some kind of small losing streak, and I lose money for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I get out of it, and just so on and so forth. So pull out money if you're profitable. Okay, $100, $1,000, something like that. Pull out some money. Reward yourself. I can guarantee you, even if it's $100, that $100 will feel like the best $100 in your life. Now, there are certain suggestions with that. Like if you're trading in an IRA and you don't want to pull out money because it will be taxed, I get that. So instead of pulling money out of your IRA, just reward yourself through your bank account. Okay, if you got some money in savings or something, pull your money out of the bank account. So don't get taxed on it if it's in a tax shelter or something. You guys obviously understand that though, but I figured I might as well say it. So if you're trading in just a regular account, just a good old account, then yeah, pull some money out. So for me, if you guys want to know what I do, I travel. Anytime I follow my plan, I travel, and then I try to reward myself and others. So my reward is traveling, and then on those travels, I try to meet people and change their life or impact their life in some kind of positive nature, whoever it might be. So that's kind of what it is for me. Now that part's easy. Pleasure. If you get to this part and you don't know what to do, contact me. Okay. This is not the part that I'm worried about. Most people don't make so much money they don't know what to do with it, okay? If you make a lot of money, you know what to do with it. I get it. Here's the part that very, very few people ever actually do. The pain part. Let's talk about this for a few minutes. The pain. Type in a 3 if you're a parent. I'm not personally a parent. I do have young nephews and nieces. I have raised them a lot in my life. But if you're a parent, okay, so I get a lot of 3s. All right, parents, so be honest with me. Did you ever discipline your kid and said the phrase out loud, "Don't worry, this hurts you more than it hurts me"? Wait, this hurts me. You guys get this hurts me worse than it hurts you, right? You probably have said that before, but you've all disciplined your kid, okay? If you didn't, your kid's probably a hellion. And I'm sorry if I'm the first person to tell you, but it's probably the fact. People probably don't like your kid, okay? You've got to discipline them in some way. I mean, somehow. I was the worst child on planet Earth, okay? No kid can be worse than I was, but my mom and dad knew the pain thing. They knew how to make that work, okay? So they just beat me enough. They figured that I would just finally start, doing better. But what actually ended up happening is I was more attracted to this than this. They figured that out at some point. But I didn't respond to pain as well as I responded to pleasure. So anyway, long story. The pain thing, folks, here's the deal. If you break a rule, you have to initiate pain. What does that mean? What does initiate pain mean? It means you better do something that you miserably, terribly, and horrifically dislike. Something seriously bad. I can tell you what mine is. It's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse over time. I must eat a bowl full of I can barely even write it. Brussels, that's probably how I'm spelling it right. Brussels sprouts, beets, covered in mustard for 3 days straight, and no alcohol, meat, or sports of any kind for 3 months. Sounds absolutely horrific because it is. That's very, very bad. First of all, I hate Brussels sprouts, I hate beets, and I hate mustard. Put all 3 of those together, I want to saw my leg off. Then I can't drink beer and eat steak and watch football. Why am I living here? Why am I on earth? Okay, you guys get this? So this is the thing is, I can't literally make you do this, but it's massively, crucially, insanely important that you do it. If you break one of your rules, you will have to inflict pain. It's simple as that. You have to. If you don't, you will lose money. If you break your rule, in your mind you'll go, it's not that big, it's not that important, whatever. Meaning if your R is, let's say, 300, and you lose $1,500 on one trade because you held the trade and never exited. Is that breaking your rule? Yes or no, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, that's breaking your rule, right? Okay, so what if you say, I write down, I'm gonna be in this trade for 3 months, and I can't look at this trade for 2 weeks. And on day two, the trade runs and you exit for a 1R gain and you feel really good about yourself. Is that breaking a rule? Even though you made money, is that breaking a rule? Yeah, it's breaking a rule. Here's the thing is, don't break your rules and you'll make money. You can be profitable in trading as long as you're disciplined, as long as you're patient. That is the key to life. That is the key to trading profitably. That is the key to success. And as many of you who might not want to hear that, there is no alternative. I can assure you. Every trader who's ever come to me who is losing money and they have a trading plan, you know what I say? I go, okay, how many times have you broken your rules? And they go, oh, hundreds. I go, what have you done about it? And they go, I mean, haven't done anything about it. So I go, okay, fine. Go be a vegetarian for 2 months. Call me later. Okay? If they like meat, they don't want to be a vegetarian if that's painful to them. Here's the deal, guys. I won't break my plan ever. I won't do it. So I will never do this. So for me, as you likely are aware, I make outrageous bets all the time at real life trading because I'm never going to break my plan. So I still do painful stuff. Like I got my chest waxed a few months ago. And it's all on YouTube, like the whole thing. If you check it out, it's pretty terrible. But I waxed my entire chest just because I lost a bet. Not even because I broke my trading plan, just because I lost a bet. Because again, I will not break my plan. I will not break my rules. It just won't happen. I would rather, seriously, I would rather lose $10,000 than do this right here any day of the week. Okay, so that's the truth, guys. I would rather pay $10,000 to do that. You guys get the point? Much, much, much rather pay $10,000 than do that. Do not break your trading plan. That's the point. Just don't let it happen. Don't break the rules. If you break the rules, inflict pain and then make it worse the next time. Don't give me something pansy. Don't give me something weak and soft like, I'll go work out at the gym. You should go work. You should go work out at the gym anyway. You know, I'll go walk a mile around my house. You should probably get out your house and walk anyway. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me something weak. Give me something you really don't like. Like potentially, I will deep clean my entire house with a toothbrush on Saturday and Sunday every month for a year. How terrible does that sound? Oh my gosh, that might be my new pain right there. Deep clean the whole house every Saturday and Sunday with a toothbrush? Oh my gosh. Seriously, guys, do something you do not want to break your plan. Build discipline. If you're disciplined, you'll become profitable. Ladies and gentlemen, any questions about that? I hope this is semi-revolutionary because no one, actually I could think of 2 or 3 people off the top of my head, the disciplined trader and a few others who actually talk about this level of trading psychology. I almost said no one, but I didn't. But truly, there's not very many people who talk about this psychology behind this. It is a mental thing, right? You guys all agree on that? It's very, very mental. All of trading is in your brain, right? Trade the chart, not your heart. So you got to invoke this discipline. You got to make this happen. You've got to create a plan. And if you break your rules, you have to inflict pain. Not like some weird sadomasochist kind of way, but just like literally make it deplorably miserable if you break your plan so that you don't do it. And if you don't break your plan, you become more disciplined. If you become more disciplined, what happens, Patricia or Tom or Frank or Jerry or Richard or Courtney or Nikki or Adam or Blake or Tim or Sam? What happens? If you become more disciplined, you become profitable. So if you're trading because you just want to lose money and just throw it away, then honestly, I'll send you my address and just mail me a check. Okay? It's much easier just to be disciplined and follow a set of rules. I mean, seriously, think about this. Have any of you ever robbed a bank and gone to federal prison for 30 years? Probably not. Because the downside of robbing a bank is jail, right? So that's discipline, right? Am I correct on this? It's discipline. If you rob a bank, bad things happen. That's why we don't rob banks here. So life is literally created, it's built into this premise. If you murder somebody, bad things happen. If you steal from a store, bad things happen. If you break your trading plan, bad things happen. That's the way it should be in your brain, okay? I know it sounds weird and just totally off in left field. Just gotta trust me on this. It's gonna work. Do it and tell me all about the results. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been an incredible 4 classes. I know it went by quick, and really it's only about 4 hours of content. The last 4 hours, I have taught you exactly what I said I was going to teach you: how to trade the stock market, how to read the charts, how to mitigate risk, how to create a trading plan. You have everything you need in order to attack this in a safe, profitable, positional type of way. You have a focused approach. You now know exactly what's coming. You can email me with any questions, jerremy@reallifetraining.com. I appreciate each and every one of you here. For those who are here live, I know it's a Friday night. I have no idea how in the world you guys are taking a stock market class on a Friday night, but seriously, you guys absolutely rock. If you are watching this on internet land on a Friday night, seriously, give yourself some kudos. You're working hard. The quote by Grant Cardone is, "Grind while they party so that you can live like they dream." So right now tonight is St. Patrick's Day, and literally almost every one of my buddies is out just getting smashed right now, and they're just partying. You know what? I'm not. I'm here with you guys, and I'm going to continue to be with you guys. I'm going to answer emails. I'm going to help you guys. So, as a reiteration, okay? Study, work hard, focus, do all of this while everybody else is partying, and you'll be able to live like they're dreaming about. Or better yet, do what you don't think possible today so that you can do tomorrow what no one else thinks is possible. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for being here and watching this video. It truly means the world to me. You absolutely rock. I'll see you in the intermediate classes, and until then, remember, love life, and trade it. I'll see you later. Bye.